Speed. It's kind of a mystery, right? We see it on the track. We literally feel the shock waves when someone flies past. But today, we're going to deconstruct the hidden primal mechanics of elite human velocity in this explainer. We are stepping completely inside the science of superhuman speed.
So what actually separates elite sprinters from, well, ordinary humans like us? To answer that, we have to look way past simple genetics, straight into the pure, undeniable physics of locomotion.
Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. Speed is not talent. It's just not. It's an adaptation. It's a cultivated, explosive weapon that is forged through relentless repetition. It is force, elasticity. It's literally violence, but controlled by absolute, pinpoint precision. Every single millisecond matters here. Every nervous system impulse, every muscle contraction. It all has to be perfectly orchestrated. Part 1. The Science of Explosion, breaking down the biomechanics of speed. Now, ordinary athletes, they usually focus on concentric force, muscle shortening, pushing. But elite speed isn't about pushing forward at all. Actually, scratch that. It's entirely about eccentric capacity. It's the ability to absorb massive, violent tension as the muscle lengthens, like slamming on the brakes. Take a look at this. Jogging is concentric dominant. You're pushing behind your center of mass. But sprinting? Sprinting is eccentric dominant. It requires this violent braking action right in front of you. These are two completely different biological mechanisms, which means they require two entirely different ways to train. As elite coach Stuart McMillan brilliantly puts it, the differentiator at elite speed is in the eccentric force capacities. You don't just push harder to run faster. No way. You have to literally forge your body to absorb and recoil from these huge shockwave impacts. Moving right along to Section 2, the machine of speed, engineering the human body for velocity. All right, let's look at the data. We have 6 precise movements here, and each one surgically targets a specific weakness in the human kinetic chain. We're talking jump squats for explosive power, banded hip flexors for those hyper-responsive starts, eccentric RDLs for massive hamstring load. Then you've got heavy sled pushes for that low acceleration posture, single leg hip thrusts for unadulterated raw velocity, and finally, Nordic curls to build up your decelerative armor. It's like engineering a machine. Let's zoom in on that 30% number for a second. Science proves that loading jump squats with just 30% of your body weight creates significantly more explosive sprint velocity than those heavy 80% grinds. So it's not about lifting the heaviest weight possible. It is all about lightweight, moving at absolute hypervelocities. This brings us to the two-mass system. When you're just jogging, your body basically operates like a simple spring. But at superhuman speeds, a secondary mass, specifically your foot and shank, violently strikes the ground. The foot actually becomes a secondary weapon, generating this incredible recoil that ordinary runners just cannot access. Section 3. Primal repetition. Deconstructing human gait and plyometrics. Think about our evolutionary timeline. Walk, jog, run, stride, sprint. Yet most adults get completely stuck at the jog. Why is that? Well, it comes down to tissue capacity. If an ordinary adult just goes out and attempts maximal velocity without immense preparation, tendons will snap. The human body literally must be systematically conditioned to survive the sprint phase. So how do we bridge that gap? Well, look at jogging. It's this closed kind of robotic shape with repetitive, low-amplitude impact. But skipping? Skipping is free. It's expressive. It's maximal amplitude. It is absolutely the ultimate cross-body coordination tool, training your joints to stiffen up and recoil like heavy-duty steel springs. And the protocol to build that spring is brutally simple. You start with a 10 to 15-minute active warm-up, then a 50-meter maximal amplitude skip, really throwing incredible energy down into the earth. Follow that with a 90-second recovery walk, and repeat that 10 to 15 times. That is how you reclaim your primal elasticity. 40. That is the exact number of explosive, perfectly orchestrated steps it took for Usain Bolt to completely obliterate the 100-meter world record. Just 40 impacts, 40 violent, yet perfectly, beautifully controlled ground strikes. Incredible. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, Pressure and Peace, the psychology of the elite sprinter. Let's break down the mechanics rapidly here. The torso dictates the head. The knee drives fiercely behind the glutes. Speed, Not conscious thought is what determines the foot strike. But you know what the ultimate cue is? Express your authentic self. To unlock elite velocity, you really have to silence the inner critic and just connect completely with the sheer violence of the movement. 100 meters is 50 meters of pressure and 50 meters of peace. This is an incredibly powerful realization from Stuart McMillan. You explode out of the blocks with immense violent pressure. But at top speed, it requires total peace. It's this hypnotic, almost magical transition from raw acceleration to totally relaxed, flowing perfection.
Transcend human limits. Become the machine of speed. Every piece of science we've covered, every biomechanical overlay, every single drop of sweat, it all leads up to this singular evolution.
So my question for you is, are you ready to evolve or will you stay comfortable in the jog? The science is right here. The primal mechanics are yours to harness. Take these insights from our explainer, apply them to your own pursuit of human performance, and see what you are truly capable of.